This is unreal. Andrew Yang is on The View, so you know I had to do me a video about his performance, the panel, questions they asked, so don't go anywhere. Welcome to Izzyland. What's up, fellow YouTube viewers, as well as the members of the YangGang.
YangGang 2020. YangGang 2020.
Don't ever do that again.
Welcome to Izzyland. It's your boy Izzy, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Andrew Yang being on The View.
Yes! Oh my god!
I wanted to get into, I thought he did pretty well, hit the right notes with the questions that the ladies on there were asking him. You can judge for yourself. Let's jump right into it.
Please welcome Andrew Yang. Hey!
Well, Mr. Yang, I was telling you I have a dear friend who's part of the YangGang and is riding very hard for you. So he's very excited you're on today. So I was first really introduced to you in the last debate, but there's a controversy going on right now because you accused NBC of cutting your mic off at times when you wanted to interject. NBC has denied that's happened, but it's a big conspiracy all over the internet. Can you clarify what happened?
Well, I was only asked 2 questions over 2 hours, and that's, there for everyone to see. And so I just shared my experience with some supporters after the fact, but we're just thrilled that I have another debate in July and then also in September and October to keep getting our ideas out to the American people.
But how do you make it so you speak more than 3 minutes?
Well, we were joking that maybe I'd have a sign or something, hold it up. But we're very confident that we'll get more opportunities in the
Were you the only one that happened to? Or did somebody else also get screwed out?
I think one of the other candidates said that her mic was also cut at various times.
Marianne Williamson?
Yeah, I think that's right. I haven't talked to Marianne about it, though.
Yeah, because he spoke less than 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes. But you have some very dedicated followers. They call themselves the YangGang. Supporters wear hats that have math written across the top. Make America think harder. Crowds chant PowerPoint at your rallies. And there's a YouTube channel dedicated to getting you elected called Nerds for Andrew Yang 2020. So, and I love that, actually, because I do think that, I give a lot of credit to the American people. I think we're smarter than people are giving us credit for. And that's what I think you're trying to tap into. So tell us about that.
Well, my campaign's dedicated to trying to solve the problems that got Donald Trump elected. We're in the midst of the greatest economic transformation in the history of our country, what experts are calling the 4th Industrial Revolution. And so Make America Think Harder is trying to get America focused on the fact that it's certainly not immigrants that are causing these problems. It's the fact that technology is pushing our economy to a point where more and more Americans are having a harder time finding paths forward. Amazon's closing 30% of our malls and stores in the next 4 years, and being a retail worker is still the most common job in this country. The average retail worker is a 39-year-old woman making between $9 and $10 an hour. We know she doesn't have much in the way of savings. So as her stores close, the opportunities disappear. We have to start focusing on solving those problems, and that's what Make America Think Harder. It's the opposite of this call to yesteryear. We need to start solving the problems of today.
Boom! Nailed it. What he's talking about isn't new. Even though technology is helpful to develop new ideas and it also cuts back costs, it is pretty detrimental, especially for blue-collar workers and such who do operate in laborious environments that machines are taking over. Even in job searches, job recruiters use this machine, I think it's called the ATS, and it's supposed to scan resumes and highlight certain keywords that determine whether or not that candidate should be hired, which is pretty superficial. It's relying on machines to do all the work. I guess it's it's more efficient. Then you have just in the job employers, they do hold a very high expectation because they rely so heavily on technology. If the workers, the typical human workers, if they can't do certain tasks for them, they'll get on their case countlessly and scrutinize them because they expect them to do to work at the same sort of pace as the robots and machines they have in the workplace or whatever. But that's very toxic. It doesn't work. So what Yang is trying to do, make more opportunities and be able to do things that they want to do, that they have interest in, hone their craft and that sort of stuff, rather than simply live miserably with a 9-to-5 job, living paycheck to paycheck, really making ends meet.
Is anybody in the Republican Party giving any thought to that, what you just said?
Well, when you talk to politicians about this economic transformation we're in the midst of, unfortunately, a lot of the solutions revolve around education and retraining. But I looked into the studies around retraining manufacturing workers in the Midwest, and the results were very, very bad. 0 to 15% success rates.
Yeah.
So if you're a politician and you say, hey, we're going to educate Americans for the jobs of the future, then everyone's like, okay, that sounds great. But then when you dig into the reality, unfortunately, that's not the way
Well,
it
it
works
didn't
out.
work, right? Because we tried to do that when we moved mining.
Yeah.
We said we were going to retrain people, and it didn't work, as we heard from various people saying, well, there's nothing out there for me.
Well, when they're climate deniers also, they don't even look at the possibility of having green jobs,
yeah,
which a
jobs,
lot of people
solar,
could go into that. But anyway,
Yes.
you are also proposing something of a basic universal income, a freedom dividend.
That's right.
You call it. What does that mean exactly?
So this is an idea that's been with America since our founding. Thomas Paine was for it. Martin Luther King championed it in 1967. It's a dividend for every American as a right of citizenship. So under my plan, every American adult would receive $1,000 a month, starting at age 18, every month until you expire.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
That will cost $3 trillion. Where's this money coming from?
Oh my God, I'm getting so tired of hearing that question. Where's the money going to come from? I mean, he explained it in plain English in full detail, and I mean, you hear that a lot of people keep saying that. It's like, wouldn't that will cause inflation? Where's it going to come from? I'm like, come on, this is a pretty solid solution. No, it's not going to. Well, I mean, it's not going to solve everything, but it's a start. It can do something, okay? And to be all doubtful about it, no one didn't blink an eye when we gave the rich tax cuts. Yang is proposing something that can help people get on their feet and get that economic, like he says, the economic boot off their throat, and they'll be able to think clearly, focus on bigger issues and such. This is our best shot.
And what is the point of it, really? They say if you give a man a fish, give a man a fishing line, he can fish. If you give him one fish, he'll just eat that fish, something like that.
I think I know the saying you're talking
But
about.
how does it go? You know that what I'm talking about? So you hand somebody $1,000. Now, what good is that? They spend $1,000, big deal.
Though, for people that are struggling.
I know it's a bit of a game changer, but it's not a long-term solution. Come on.
It actually would help build a more human-centered economy, what I call the trickle-up economy, because it would allow more people to do the kind of work that they want to do, including people like my wife, who's at home with our 2 young boys, one of whom is autistic. And right now, the market values her work at 0.
Yeah.
GDP values her work at 0. If you start putting resources into our hands, it actually expands what we think of as work.
Well,
Exactly. The freedom dividend is a game changer. It helps everyone, especially women who are stay-at-home mothers. They have no value with, that's, I mean, with the work that they do with the kids. Yang mentioned that's a job in itself, especially when you have an autistic kid.
now you're talking about paying women for doing housework and doing work at home, being mothers. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Oh, good.
That's different.
It's different. Well, I mean, again, and this is a game changer for the waitress at the diner who's getting harassed by her boss. It's a game changer for the single mom who's stuck in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Like, we need to put the economic resources into people's hands to be able to improve their
But still,
situation.
how are you going to pay for this exactly?
No! God, please, no!
Stop whining.
You know, listen to Elizabeth Warren. She's got a plan.
Yep.
She's charging 2% over certain millions and millions and millions. What are you going to do?
So my plan is to get the resources from the big winners of the 21st century economy. So the big winners are who? Amazon. Trillion-dollar company, paid 0 in taxes, less than everyone in this room. Apple, Netflix, Google. These companies are great at just not paying a whole lot of taxes.
Right.
And so what you do is you have to look around the world and see that other countries have put a mechanism in place so the American people get a tiny slice of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Facebook ad, every Uber mile, and that's enough to pay for a dividend of $1,000 a month, particularly because this money just comes back to us over and over again.
That's a reasonable argument that Yang is making, okay? And I mean, these big tech companies, they're definitely taking advantage of technology and its evolution and all that. And, they're hogging all the money. They didn't pay their taxes like everyone else, not even a little bit. They're making billions of dollars off of this stuff. So, like, you got Google,
you're assuming that those companies are just going to go on ad infinitum, making millions and millions.
Amazon seems to be doing that.
With all due respect, as the millennial at the table, I would love
What about me? I'm a millennial.
But my generation. Okay, excuse me, it's Joy and I as the millennials at the table. But every Democrat that comes on, the answer is write a check. And the problem is the deficit is going to my generation, and that's already the problem right now. So is there
Wait a minute, who created that deficit?
I'm asking
Your
the
party.
presidential candidate this question,
All right.
if you don't mind.
I don't mind, but I want to answer it
Do you
anyway.
have an answer that is... Okay.
Go ahead.
Sir, you can
Keep it
answer
going.
over you.
No, please. I understand the question. And so I've run companies, and you have a revenue problem in this country, and you have an expense problem in this country. And you have to go after both of them. But the big winners, so if you have artificial intelligence that Amazon's investing billions of dollars in, could displace 3.5 million truck drivers. Right now, it's the most common job in 29 states. The amount of value that gets generated from that, immense, almost unbelievable. And right now, the American people will get zero of that value. So if you put a mechanism in place, you can actually generate hundreds of billions of dollars.
To get to know more about your policies, let's do a lightning speed round with you.
Sure.
Universal health care, yes or no?
Yes.
Robert Mueller is set to testify July 17th. Should Congress start impeachment hearings?
We'd have to wait until his testimony, but I'm thrilled that he's going to be testifying for Congress.
What would he say that would change your mind to a definite yes?
You know, I'd have to see what the facts were. Also, I've been trying to put it on Congress to make that determination, really, because that's their job.
Okay. Closing the wealth gap, especially when it comes to the African-American community. Reparations a part of that?
Well, Martin Luther King championed a dividend for all Americans. I think that's where we should start, $1,000 a month for every American. And then reparations is a whole separate issue, because the $1,000 dividend doesn't address the historical legacy of slavery.
Why should rich white people get $1,000 a month?
Well, the great thing is that it'll remind them that they're still an American. but in Alaska,
Sir,
they have a dividend.
No one at this table needs an extra $1,000 a month.
But in Alaska, they have a dividend of $1,000.
Well, I wouldn't
give it away
feel.
to charity.
I wouldn't
You could give it
feel
away to
right.
charity.
I mean, when there's still veterans on the street and that was.
give it away.
But that's what you could
Give
use
it away to charity.
That's what he means when he
empowering.
says it reminds you you're an American.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you do for yourself, it's what you do for other folks.
Yeah, that's a good point that Whoopi Goldberg made. I understand like Kane's skepticism saying that, you know, why does the rich get $1,000 as well? What Whoopi Goldberg's saying is that they have the ability to give it to charity, give it to those in need, you know, because like she said, it's not about how you help yourself, it's about how you help others, how you influence someone else's life, because what you may consider to be not that significant to you, to someone else, it can mean the world to them. It can change their life for the better.
In Alaska, they give the dividend to everyone in Alaska from the petroleum fund, $1,000 to $2,000 a year, and it depoliticizes it, it destigmatizes it. It's just everyone gets it, and so there's no like, oh, you get it, I don't.
Right.
Immigration.
I'm the son of immigrants myself. I think we need to create a path to citizenship over the long term.
So you also have some unusual and I would say unorthodox stances as well. You came out against circumcision, correct?
Well, you know, I think parents need to educate themselves on what the health information is. You know, my wife and I obviously made a certain determination, but it should be in the hands of the parents.
In the hands of what?
The parents.
Parents just...
Because when you have a male
Literally and
baby, they just
figuratively.
toss it on you.
Well, they tried to.
They try to just toss it.
Yeah, they try to.
You also believe in free marriage counseling?
Yeah, the data shows that if you grow up in a two-parent household, certain outcomes are more likely. And so from a societal perspective, it makes perfect sense to try and keep couples together if they want to stay together.
So would that just be like a social worker for every couple in America?
Well, it'd be like a marriage counseling, you know, stipend, essentially, where it's like if you decide to seek marriage counseling, then they can just go and get paid by...
My version of marriage counseling is drinking Jack Daniels, shooting some guns, and hanging out. So
Bruh.
my version is different than it works.
Good for you. That's how you do things or whatever. But I mean, look, marriage counseling, it can help, you know, other people in relationships who want to work things out and that sort of stuff. And plus, he mentioned that, you know, it's a stipend. It's, you know, opt-in and it's funded or whatever. And so I mean, it is optional. But I mean, you know, it's best to have, you know, free healthy relationship, you know, in marriage, as well as, you know, because like if you have kids or whatever, that can help, you know, help with the family bond, and you know, just keeping the peace in the home, and keeping a healthier environment for you, the family, and as well as those living there. So yeah, that's definitely helpful.
You also believe in staffing a White House psychologist.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm not mad at that one. That's fine.
Oh, good. Well, we need to destigmatize mental health issues in this country generally. And so if we have a psychologist in the White House, I thought it was a good idea before the current administration.
Yeah, psychologists in the White House. Yeah, yeah, they definitely clapped to that. That is a pretty good idea. Definitely glad that Yang did bring up that mental illness does have a stigma in the society, and needs to be more awareness, as well as more acceptance, and you know, better treatment and such. And you know, having a psychologist in the White House, I mean, you know, like you mentioned, everyone has problems, and so like if you run in the country, if you have people in the White House who are not able to do their job properly or whatever, talking with a professional, I mean a good professional who knows exactly what they're doing, can be pretty helpful in the long run. So yeah, it's a pretty damn good idea. And I mean, we should have had this. We should have had something like this in the beginning. I'm betting you, if we did, we'd probably be much better off as a country.
Do you think that he's capable of even doing such a thing?
You know what? It doesn't even matter. Thanks.
We'll have one in my administration.
That's right. Thanks to Andrew Yang. Really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on you. We'll be right back.
Excellent interview. Like that was astounding. 2 thumbs up on Yang's performance. I definitely believe that he killed it. Whoopi Goldberg definitely giving him some solid praise, some solid acknowledgement. So, you know, he's definitely going to get plenty of recognition after this. And so, and hopefully, people, when they see this, they do their research. They find out what he's all about. You know, and you know they'll go to like him and join the YangGang. But that's it for today's video. Make sure to smash that like button, as well as subscribe to my channel to look out for other sort of content that I post. And it's not just political. There are various topics that I cover that go through across the aisle, across the spectrum. So I mean, and you will always be entertained. It will definitely be worth it. Thanks for watching this video, and always remember to let your creativity go wild.